What is going on, gamers? It's your boy Grandpa Casual, and today we are going to face one of the toughest bosses that I've faced in Wuchang Fallen Feathers so far, and that is Commander Honglan. This boss has a lot of combos. This boss is relentless in how she approaches you, and it really takes some finesse, and you really have to battle this boss with your brain as well as your brawn. So that is what we're going to cover today, and if you're into Wuchang Fallen Feathers, if you're into tips, tricks, guides, and everything like that, consider liking and subscribing. That is what we do here. Outside of that, let's get into the gameplay. So first off, let's talk about the approach to this boss. Like every boss, there is an approach, and Commander Honglan is no different. Now, how I approached this boss was I first did my preparation. And how I prepared for this boss is I did a fight, and I learned that I really needed to negate the slash and the stab damage from this boss. Now, this is important because I took the time to lean more into my parry and my deflect abilities. Now, if you haven't unlocked your deflect or parry ability yet, I would say definitely unlock these prior to facing her. This will make the fight way more straightforward, and you'll be less on your heels, less running away from her, and more trying to be strategic, deflecting attacks, and paying more attention to what's coming at you and what you can give back, as opposed to how you can get away from the onslaught that she sends towards you. At this point in time, I was around level 50, and I had those elements going for myself. So let's look at her first attack. Now, I did face her a number of times, and every time I faced her, right out the gate, this is the first attack she did. It's this launch attack, and this is where your parry becomes very, very important, because this first attack, if you don't have the ability to parry or deflect it, you're going to try to run from it, you're going to dodge, and it's really hard to get a follow-up attack on this character if you're straight trying to sit up there and brawl with her. This is not one of the characters, from my experience, that you sit there toe-to-toe and try to brawl with. You have to be very strategic, and you have to use your head, your brain, and really pay attention to what she's doing, because she will easily catch you slipping if you try to brawl with her. So this first attack that she does, this dash attack, is something very common in her first phase. What I really like about it is that it's straightforward. It has a very easy tell. She kind of reels back a little bit right before she does it. It gives you a ton of time to know. So it's like, really, it's about you paying attention and knowing that when she does that, that the lunge is coming and to catch your parry. I'm able to get a stab in. I did have a pendant on at this point that increased my damage for stab. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Now, this spin move that she does right here, she throws several knives at you at once. Now, you can do two things when she does this. You can dodge them or you can deflect them. I personally like to try to deflect them as much as I can. I can stay focused on the character as opposed to dodging, then having to recenter myself, having to recompose myself for the onslaught that this boss sends at me. Now, a lot of times within the fight, when you get her stamina bar up, she likes to sit back. She likes to wait. She likes to sit on ceremony for a while. In these moments, I use my magic in whatever way I can to try to hit her with something. I try my best not to let her rest, because when I let her rest, she gets her stamina down. I want to bait her out to doing another dash attack, to doing something that I can predict. So with this 2-slash attack that she does, I did have a hard time catching the first one. It was really inconsistent. So what I did instead was I used the first one to gauge when the second one would come, and I would usually catch the second one as opposed to catching the first one. Now, the thing about the 2-slash attack is sometimes she hits you with this heel kick. This heel kick, unlike many other bosses, it isn't predictable. Some bosses, it's like you know exactly what's going to come after a combo, but with this kick, it's so randomized that it will come out of nowhere. It's almost like a real person is playing and choosing the most opportune time to use this. So with this, I really couldn't find a consistent way that she used it. It was like whenever I was just in there, she would just use it. It's really easy to see, but it's really hard to react to. And it's usually after a combo or when you're in a position where you really can't get away. So I just try to be mindful of it and always have in the back of my mind, like, hey, that kick might come after this combo. And I try to stay ahead of it as much as I can. Okay, so this move right here, the 2 punches and the slash, is another one. This is one that comes out of nowhere as well a lot, and it will really catch you off guard. So one way to know that this is coming is that she flips her sword upwards. When she does that, you know that the 2 punches are coming. And you do know that after the 2 punches, she's going to do the slash. So you can use the 2 punches and really try to gauge when those punches are going to end, and you can catch the slash at the end every single time. But it's really about paying attention to the nuances. If you don't pay attention to her flipping up the sword, then you'll probably miss out on it and you'll get hit with the punches, and it'll be really hard to catch that slash in the end. So as you can see, her stamina bar is almost broken. It's almost full here. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to chase her stamina bar. I'm not going to get overly aggressive. I'm not going to overextend, because that's where this boss flourishes. She wants you to be aggressive so she can hit you with one of these close range attacks and really obliterate you. So what I do here is I really try to be as strategic as I can, and I make a decision on whether or not I feel like it's worth it for going in or if I'm going to risk it. Okay, so here's another combo that she caught me with. She does 2 slashes left, right, and then she comes with 2 kicks after. The two spin kicks that she does after has a very, very wide range of effect. And it's one of those moves where it's like you have to be a step ahead of her and knowing that it's coming after those two slashes and be moving kind of before she even does it. Because it takes about 2 dashes from my experience to even get out of the range of it. So if you can actually gauge it to a little bit before she does it, you'll be able to get out of there in 1 dash. But for the most part, it really feels like 2 dashes away from this one is a safe space to be to get out of there. Another thing that I found very important about this boss is your positioning. A lot of the attacks that you can parry them, but you have to be in the correct position. There has been a number of times where I tried to parry something and missed, and I suffered greatly for that. So it's really important that you pay attention to your position and know exactly where you need to be to land the perfect parry, to get your strike off, and be able to get out of there at the same time. See, now, as you can see, with that dash, I actually missed the counter. And I could have tried to get aggressive and get some hits in, but that's where you get punished. So I kind of left it alone and kind of moved out of the way from that one. Okay, so this is the second phase of the boss, right? So this is where she starts throwing wind attacks at you. Now, what's important to know here is that when she starts off in this new phase, when she kicks off here, if you're in this range, you will actually take damage from this. So you have to be really careful here and really try not to be too aggressive even at this point. Now, as far as this wind attack goes, generally I like to go right, but for this one, it seemed like left works better. Even though I did get hit here, left tends to work better because you can see she sends one attack straight at you. And if you look at the second one, it has a slight tilt to the left. So if you move far enough left, which I didn't here, then you'll actually have that one go right over your head and you don't have to worry about dodging it at all. So generally on the stage, everything stays the same for the most part, but you still have to worry about how much she ramps up her attacks. Her attacks start coming quicker, her combos get longer, and they come at quicker successions. So here you can see she does a downward slash and a 2-sword up slash. Typically after this move, she does evade, so I wouldn't usually try to go after her right here because I know I usually miss. So I kind of let her get away with that one. I just try to dodge it. Now this spin attack right here, where she sends the long wave at you, it's really one that's hard to catch. But what you have to know about this one is you have to kind of wait until the attack gets to you. And you have to know the tells. So the tell for this is, it's not when she puts up her hands, but it's really about the spin. You're timing the spin for your dash. When she spins, you dash. Not when she's moving her hands, not when she's getting ready, but during the spin is when you dash, but you're waiting for the attack to get to you. You're not doing it too early. This one actually takes time, and you actually got to experience it a couple times to really get the hang of it, but you will after you see it a few times. Now, if you really want to get productive with this boss, one of the things that you could try to aim to do if you feel confident enough is try to get behind her and do a strong attack. If you can get behind her and do strong attacks, this is key. This does crazy damage. It staggers her. She's down on the ground. You can wail on her. If you can get in there and do that, it's perfect. There's actually a move coming up that you'll see where she actually does a move where she leaves herself wide open, and you can always get a strong attack if you manage to get behind her. So as far as the spin attack that she does, I try blocking this, and I do feel like you block it. I don't know if you need 2 blocks or 3 blocks. I'm very unsure with that, but I kind of just dodge this and leave this one alone. It's been inconsistent for me. I really couldn't get it. I do feel like I block. I don't know if I needed to do 2 blocks. I really don't understand this spin move at all. So I just leave this alone. But what's more important is the one that comes after this. So now what you need to understand is that when she starts to spin, the bottom of the spin does 0 damage to you. So that is not what you're paying attention to. What you're really paying attention to is the timing of her coming down with her attacks. If you can time that and dash behind her, you can get an obliterate attack off and do crazy damage to this character. And every time you do a strong attack to her back, if you get the opportunity, which is not very easy, but if you do, you will get a chance to do an obliterate attack every single time. So take advantage of that as much as you can. If you're confident, definitely go for that every single time. So for this straight attack, one thing that is common that you can bank on is when she does that straight slash attack at you by itself, that she's coming with a dash after the fact. And you can count on that. That's like a combo that kind of goes together with this character. So you can rest assured that every time she does that straight attack, she's going to do the dash attack. So you can be prepared with a parry and always get that parry every single time. Now, I'm going to end it here because I want you to get the satisfaction of seeing what happens after this fight. I don't want to take it away from you. You earned it. You went through the fight. You did all the stuff you had to do. So you earned to see the end of that fight and what happens after. So I'm going to leave that to you. And that is how you face Commander Honglan. Hopefully I was able to help. And I took the number of attempts of facing this boss down a notch for you. If I did, consider liking and subscribing. Let me know in the comments how tough this boss was for you. I'm always down to have conversations with you all. And if you're into Wuchang Fallen Feathers and want to see other guides, tips, tricks, patch notes, and things like that, stick around. We do this all the time. Outside of that, good luck, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.